Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Connor Williams, and we're back with another one of our 24/7 breaking news videos. The headline news this evening is that Everton are competing with West Ham for Belgian winger ADNAN JANUZAJ. The 27-year-old is a free agent and is close to making a decision about his future. This has come via Diario AS. This makes me feel quite old. I remember when he first on the scene. I was in high school in like year 7 or something. With some friends. One of them was a United fan, and he was like, he pronounced it Januzaj. He was like, he's going to be the next Ronaldo. Alas, he's not been the next Ronaldo. But yeah, this makes me feel a bit old, this one. We did run a poll on the Toffee Blues. If you want to get involved and vote on these polls that I read out quite frequently, go follow the link in the description down below on Twitter. I promise you the polls are on there. I know someone said they couldn't find the Morgan Gibbs White one at the end of the other comment the other day. When I was reading it back, they are there. You've got to click on the main news story that we link, and then underneath we reply with the poll underneath. It's not an out-and-out poll. It's as replied in the thread underneath the news story. So if you can't see, you need to click on the Morgan Gibbs White news story, and then it'll be underneath. So for this one, go on the JANUZAJ news we break, and then right underneath the first reply should be the poll. Anyway, yeah, we said, would you sign ADNAN JANUZAJ for Everton? 34% said yes, 66% said no, 4,142 of you have voted. I do apologise, that is the final result, so you can't vote any more on that. But for future reference, especially for the one person that mentioned they couldn't find the Morgan Gibbs White one, that's how we do it. So you should hopefully be able to find it now. And I hope that that was helpful for you. I voted no on this. I don't know if he's the answer to our prayers. I'm not sold on him, but then I had a moment where I'm like, well, who am I sold on? It seems like all our targets are leaving or getting swooped up, aren't they? Lewis Potter got swooped up for Brentford and scored the other day in a friendly. Look, I'll get on to Morgan Gibbs White later on. Lingard's completely swerved us for West Ham. All of our targets are like a fleeting ship. I don't know what's happened with Emmanuel. That's gone very quiet all of a sudden. I think we're going to start desperate ones. I'm not surprised we're interested in him in terms of he's a free agent. I saw the free agent list the other day. Belotti's in it. Isco's in it. I think Isco will probably be announced as a rumour in the next couple of days. I imagine Everton will be looking at that, looking at who they can get on the cheapest wages possible. Moving on, we do have the KAM Sports Group are still remain very interested in buying the club despite Fahd Mejri's recent statement. That's come from Mark Douglas, I believe, of the iPaper. Interesting, isn't it? These don't seem to be going away. And though Fahd Mejri did a little statement the other day, we'll have to wait and see. I honestly don't think he is looking to sell. I think he's looking for a little bit more funding because I don't think Usmanov, while he's sanctioned, is giving him any. So I do think he needs a little bit of funding, but I don't think he wants to out and out sale, hence the rumours of his 10% and stuff like that he wanted to keep. I don't think he's ready to say goodbye to Everton just yet. I think in his eyes, there's still plenty more for him to try, achieve, meddle with. I don't know. There's still some unfinished business, I believe, at Everton for him. I think he's just looking for money. We also have from Mark Douglas that Everton do have funds to spend, but progress has proved difficult. Interest has been lodged for Maxwell Cornet and Morgan Gibbs White, but Everton and Wolves are far apart for the valuation of the midfielder. I'm going to get on to Morgan Gibbs White a little bit later on as well, which would be very, very interesting. Morgan Gibbs White, Cornet, another one. I think he's a bit like Emmanuel. We thought we were going to get him, but now it looks to be faltering. I don't know why it's faltering, but it is. And I can't work out quite why. In all honesty, guys, it's a tough one. It's a tough one there. It's a bit like the Dennis one. We were absolutely linked with him, and then all of a sudden, not anymore. It is strange. And the more we stick about, the more and more that our targets are going, which again is very, very strange. We also have news as well that Everton fans will protest against Fahd Mejri, with prospective owners still very interested. That's what Mark Douglas was on about. The 27 Years campaign are looking to organise a protest against Fahd Mejri and the current board. This is split opinions on Twitter, so I'll give mine very quickly here and now. I like the campaign, yes, I've spoke to a couple of times on the channel. He's a nice fella. He's very, very clever in terms of business. Do I think he's ever run a campaign like this before, or anyone involved? I don't think they have. So I don't think they have. This is the bread and crumbs. I think he's a good fella. I think he's very clever in front of business. He's a very smart man. Do I think he's experienced in running campaigns and protests? No. Have they got everything right? No, they did make that error where they didn't invite fans to a protest and it looked closed off. And now certain fans can't seem to get out their head that out their head. I do understand why they're annoyed. It was a little bit annoying, but it was a mistake on their half, which they've admitted is a bad mistake. They're not, you know, regular protest campaigners, organisers. This is new grounds to them. The Esk, for example, is a very clever businessman. I think this protest is very new to him. People are still getting hung up because you weren't invited to hang bed sheets out. You need to sort of avoid, like, just swerve the idea of being annoyed that you weren't invited, because realistically, I don't think any Everton fan likes where the club is at the minute. I know there's people going, oh, I think fans just love the way we are. I don't think anyone does. I think some fans maybe want an easy life, example. But like, my argument for the 27 years, if you're against it, is, well, what's your alternative then? Because nobody else is sticking their head above the parapet to do this. Nobody else is trying to organise change at the club. Everybody else is just sitting there hoping it. So if you're not with them, then what's your alternative is what I'm asking. And that's not an attack on you. It's not anything personal. Don't think I'm attacking you. It's a genuine question. If you have an alternative idea or an ulterior way of getting the change that we all want at this club, so the club can thrive, happily hear you out. I want as much change as the rest of you all. I want Everton to be something to be proud of, not something where I'm getting lashed by my mates every day because we're the next relegation favourite. It's a real shame. So my idea is, have they got everything right? No. Are they trying to strive for something that we all want, though? Yes. You know, did they make a mistake? Yes. Are they the only people out there, though, thriving for change and making this organisation? Yes. So follow them through on that one. So yeah. Moving on, though, guys, we also have news that Forest are interested in Dennis. The Athletic and the Daily Mail have said Nottingham Forest are interested in Dennis for 25 million. Everton are interested in Arnaud Calamundo, I'm going to pronounce that. He's a PSG forward, 19 million of claim. Leeds United are most heavily linked and look to secure him for £20 million, the 20-year-old. However, it's been suggested the new PSG bosses want to take a closer look at the player. That'll be Gaultier, who was linked with our job last season. Not only that, but a number of Premier League clubs have been reportedly interested, including us, Newcastle, Crystal Palace and Brighton. I must admit, I've not heard of him. I've never heard of the lad, so the fact that he's worth 20 million is a bit bizarre to me because it's a lad I'm brand new hearing of. Yeah, really odd. It's a shame because Moise Kean, Juve are meant to be looking to try and sell him to PSG, or they were before Gaultier and Campos went. In a real world, we could have just kept him and used him as a bit part swap or something. But again, I don't know how good this lad is. I'm very new to this player, which is amazing because he plays for a big club and he's worth 20 million. Unless 20 million's the new 2 million in this day and age, it's a bit crazy. Next, we have that Napoli lead the race for Everton target Kim Min-jae. Everton were linked with the defender, and the rumours resurfaced this summer as he looks set to depart Fenerbahce. Italian outlet Corriere dello Sport have said both Everton and Rennes are interested in, but Napoli is his most likely destination. The club are willing to meet the 20 million release clause in his contract. So yeah, that'll be quite an interesting one. I think we're going to lose out on him again. It's another target we're losing out on. The more and more this summer goes on, the more targets we run out on. Whether it's the money, whether it's this, that, the longer the club take, the more it's going to look like desperate time. So it's going to look a lot like when you go on a night out and it's 4 o'clock and everybody's looking around to see who they can sort of pull at the end. It's going to look a lot like that. Yeah, we also have the news that Burnley are ready to cash in on Dwight McNeil. The Evening Standard have claimed that Crystal Palace are interested in the Burnley winger, along with the likes of Everton and Aston Villa and West Ham. Burnley did price him at 30 million last summer, but now he could be around half the price due to their relegation and championship position. Interesting, isn't it? I know I was one that said I wouldn't take him for 30 million, but for 15 or 12, I'd look at him then, potentially. I think he's worth a look at for that. We also have CBS journalist Ben Jacobs saying that Everton are looking at Levy Colwell. He says the 19-year-old isn't trying to force a move away, but wants clarity over his future. Everton, Southampton and Leicester are all interested in him. I think the way you watch Chelsea, it's pretty clear that, you know, they want more centre-backs, so I could see Colwell leave, maybe on loan, maybe on a permanent. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And finally, we have had Lampard. Lampard will give a relegation battle warning to the players. He said, if we don't want to be in that situation again, aka relegation, they have to be better, and I have to be better. This is after we lost 4-0. As the time recording is today, but it was like 1 o'clock today, so I'm going to call it last night. Didn't watch the game personally because it was on at 1 o'clock UK time, which is just far, far too late for me to be staying up and watching Everton, especially when they get outplayed by Adrian Heath, Minnesota, in the, you know, which is an MLS team. And I've not watched the highlights for the reason of I'm not going to put myself through that. I've seen, well, I thought to people from the channel who watched it say their thoughts on it. A couple of the American boys we work with who are obviously staying awake because it'd be normal time for them watched it, and it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good. It's a bit worrying as well because the lineup I actually thought was, unless we make signings, was probably one of the stronger lineups we have to offer. Obviously, Alan and Decore. I don't know if Alan and Decore were there actually. Like I thought there were one or two definitely missing, but other than that, I didn't think there were a massive amount of players missing. It's a bit worrying. It's a bit worrying. Lampard's obviously trying to whip the players up very quickly because we need to start this season a lot better than last season. I don't think the fans will take that. And worryingly enough for Frank Lampard, I don't think I think the board will take it, even though, you know, you could argue it's the board's fault. There's no signings being made. I think it leads for you know, they're not going to sack themselves before they sack the man in charge, are they? So we'll have to wait and see how that one ends. That's all we got time for. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and comment down below your thoughts on anything I've discussed in this video. Would you take Januzaj at Everton? Are you hoping we're taking over? Are you going to be going to protest? If you are, let me know. Just one last one as well. You don't have to like the group or the people behind the group or anything like that, and you can disagree with them, but you can still go to protest even if you disagree with them. It's a lot bigger than them. They're not the important thing here, you know, and I think they will probably admit this, the ESC as well. They're not, you know, they're not the main people behind this. They're not the main topic of this. The main topic is change, hence why it's behind an anonymous board. You don't know exactly who's involved because it's behind an anonymous board, because they're not important. They're not celebrities. It's about change at the club. So even if you disagree, just if you want change, just put that to one side for the greater good. Is all I could say there. Yeah, it's. I know it's a matter of opinion, guys, but that's just my 5 pence in it. Some of you might disagree, some of you might agree. It's one of them. I think we can all agree we need a change at Everton because we're all sick of this right now. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff. Can't wait to read your comments as always. Don't forget to the one fellow who said about the Morgan Gibbs White. It's in the new after the news tweet. First reply. That should help you out. Stay safe, guys. See you.